The unexpected wish. The twin suns of Zephyria cast long shadows across the crystalline spires of capital city as Lyra stood before the wishing pool. Her iridescent scales shimmered in the fading light, reflecting the myriad colors of the approaching dusk. Today was her coming-of-age ceremony, a time when young Zephyrians made their most important wish, one that would shape their future and, by extension, the future of their entire species. Lyra's parents, Selene and Astraeus, watched with pride and a hint of apprehension. Their daughter had always been different, more curious about the universe beyond their planet than most Zephyrians. They exchanged worried glances as Lyra approached the pool's edge, her large, luminous eyes fixed on the swirling starlit waters. "Remember, my dear," Selene called out, her voice tinged with concern, "choose wisely. Your wish must benefit our people." Lyra nodded, but her mind was already made up. For years, she had studied the transmissions from Earth, learning about the strange, bipedal creatures called humans. Their resilience, their creativity, their ability to adapt and overcome seemingly insurmountable odds fascinated her. In humans, Lyra saw a spark of something the Zephyrians had lost long ago, a drive to explore, to push boundaries, to dream beyond the confines of their world. Taking a deep breath, Lyra closed her eyes and whispered her wish into the wishing pool. "I wish for a human companion, to learn from and understand their ways." The pool's surface rippled, and a soft glow emanated from its depths. Gasps echoed through the gathered crowd. Never before had a Zephyrian wished for something so alien. Elder Zoran, the oldest and wisest of the Zephyrian Council, stepped forward, his ancient scales creaking with each movement. "Child," he said, his voice gravelly with age and disapproval, "do you understand what you have done? The wishing pool is not a toy. It is the foundation of our society, the source of our greatest advancements." Lyra stood tall, her resolve unwavering. "I understand, Elder Zoran. I believe that by learning from humans, we can grow as a species. We've become stagnant, content with our technological superiority. But there's so much more to the universe than what we know." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Some nodded in agreement, while others shook their heads in dismay. Selene and Astraeus moved to stand beside their daughter, offering silent support even as their own doubts gnawed at them. Elder Zoran's eyes narrowed. "And how do you propose we fulfill this wish? We have no contact with Earth. They are primitives, barely able to leave their own planet." As if in answer to his question, a low rumble filled the air. The Zephyrians looked up to see a streak of light cutting across the darkening sky, a ship, unlike any they had ever seen before, descending toward their planet. Panic erupted among the gathered Zephyrians. In all their history, no off-world vessel had ever breached their atmosphere. Their advanced technology had always kept them hidden, safe from the prying eyes of less developed civilizations. As the ship drew closer, its sleek, silver form became visible. It was clearly of human design, but far more advanced than anything the Zephyrians had observed in their studies of Earth. Lyra's heart raced with excitement and a touch of fear. Could it be? Had her wish somehow brought this ship to Zephyria? Elder Zoran raised his hands, calling for calm. "To the shelter," he commanded, but Lyra stood her ground. "No," she said, her voice carrying over the panicked crowd. "This is what I wished for. We must meet them, learn from them." The ship landed in a clearing just outside the city limits. As the dust settled, a hatch opened and a figure emerged. Unmistakably human, clad in a sleek spacesuit. The human removed their helmet, revealing a face that would be etched in Zephyrian history forever. It was a woman, her dark skin contrasting with the silver of her suit, her eyes wide with wonder as she took in the alien landscape. "Greetings," the human called out, her voice carrying across the suddenly silent gathering. "I am Captain Amara Chen of the Earth ship Curiosity. We come in peace, seeking to establish first contact with your species." Lyra stepped forward, ignoring the protests of her parents and the elders. "Welcome to Zephyria, Captain Chen," she said, her translator working flawlessly to convert a harmonic language into English. "I am Lyra, and I think I might be the reason you're here." Captain Chen's eyebrows rose in surprise. "You were expecting us." Before Lyra could respond, Elder Zoran intervened. "Forgive the child, human. She knows not what she says. I am Elder Zoran, leader of the Zephyrian Council. Your arrival is unexpected." Amara nodded, her training in diplomacy kicking in despite her awe at the situation. "We've been searching for signs of intelligent life for centuries. Your planet's unique energy signature led us here. We had no idea we'd find such an advanced civilization." As more humans emerged from the ship, the Zephyrians watched with a mix of fear, curiosity, and excitement. Lara couldn't tear her eyes away from these beings she had wished for, these creatures that represented everything she hoped her people could become again. Elder Zoran, seeing the wonder in the eyes of the younger Zephyrians, realized that this moment would change their society forever. Whether for better or worse remained to be seen. "Perhaps," he said slowly, "we should continue this discussion in more comfortable surroundings. Captain Chen, would you and your crew care to join us in the city?" Amara smiled, her excitement barely contained. "We would be honored, Elder Zoran." As the humans and Zephyrians made their way toward Capital City, Laura fell into step beside Captain Chen. "Captain," she said quietly, "there's something you should know. Today is my coming-of-age ceremony. We make a wish that's supposed to benefit our people. I wish for a human companion to learn from your kind." Amara's eyes widened. "That's quite a coincidence." Lyra shook her head. "I don't think it's a coincidence at all. Our wishing pool has powers we don't fully understand. I think it brought you here." The captain was silent for a moment, processing this information. Finally, she said, "Well, Lyra, if that's true, then it seems we have a lot to learn from each other." As they entered the city, its crystalline towers glowing softly in the night, Lyra felt a surge of hope. Her wish had been granted in a way she could never have imagined. Now it was up to her, and all of Zephyria, to make the most of this unexpected opportunity. The first contact between humans and Zephyrians would not be easy. Cultures would clash, fears would be confronted, and both species would be forced to re-evaluate their place in the universe. But as Lyra watched the humans marveling at her world, she knew that this was just the beginning of an adventure that would change everything. Little did she know that her simple wish would set in motion a chain of events that would not only transform Zephyria, but reshape the future of both their species and the galaxy itself. Cosmic Classroom. The Great Hall of Knowledge, Zephyria's most prestigious learning center, buzzed with an energy it hadn't seen in centuries. Crystalline walls pulsed with bioluminescent light, reflecting the excitement of the gathered crowd. At the center of it all stood Lyra and Captain Amara Chen, an unlikely pair that symbolized the dawn of a new era. "Welcome, humans and Zephyrians, to the first ever interspecies cultural exchange program." Lyra's voice rang out, amplified by the hall's natural acoustics. Her iridescent scales shimmered as she gestured to the holographic displays surrounding them. "Today, we bridge the gap between our worlds." Amara nodded, her dark eyes twinkling with enthusiasm. "We're here to learn from each other, to grow together. Our differences are our strength." The audience, a mix of curious Zephyrians and the human delegation, murmured in anticipation. This was more than just a cultural exchange. It was a cosmic classroom, where two species would teach each other the secrets of the universe. "Let's start with something fun," Amara suggested, pulling out a small device from her pocket. With a flick of her wrist, holographic fireworks exploded above the crowd, eliciting gasps of wonder from the Zephyrians. Lyra laughed, a melodic sound that seemed to dance in the air. "Impressive. But watch this." She closed her eyes, concentrating, and suddenly the air around her began to shimmer. Tiny points of light coalesced, forming intricate, three-dimensional constellations that mirrored the night sky outside. "Incredible," Amara breathed. "How did you do that?" "Biophotonic manipulation," Lyra explained. Every Zephyrian can control light to some degree. It's part of our biology. As the exchange continued, it became clear that both species had much to offer. The humans shared their music, art, and literature, while the Zephyrians demonstrated their advanced terraforming techniques and sustainable energy systems. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Cultural misunderstandings arose, threatening to derail the budding friendship between the two species. "You mean you actually eat other living creatures?" a young Zephyrian asked, horrified, after learning about human dietary habits. Amara winced, realizing the cultural chasm they were navigating. "Well, yes, but we're working on more sustainable and ethical food sources. In fact, that's one area where we hope to learn from you." Lyra stepped in, her diplomatic skills shining. "And we can learn from the humans' adaptability. Remember, diversity is the key to survival in the cosmos." As the day wore on, the initial awkwardness gave way to genuine curiosity and respect. Humans marveled at the Zephyrians' symbiotic relationship with their environment, while the Zephyrians were fascinated by humanity's resilience and innovative spirit. But not everyone was pleased with this cultural fusion. Elder Zoran watched from the shadows, his ancient eyes narrowing with concern. "This is moving too fast," he muttered to his advisors. "We must proceed with caution." Meanwhile, in a quiet corner of the hall, Lyra and Amara found a moment alone. "I never imagined my wish would lead to this," Lyra confessed, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with excitement. Amara smiled, placing a hand on Lyra's shoulder. "Sometimes the universe has bigger plans for us than we could ever dream." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the hall. Panic rippled through the crowd as holographic screens flickered to life, displaying a terrifying sight. A massive ship, unlike anything either species had ever seen, had entered Zephyr's orbit. Its dark, angular form blotted out the stars, casting a shadow over the planet. "Attention, primitive species," a booming voice echoed through every communication channel. "We are the Voidborn. Your planets have been chosen for harvesting. Resistance is futile." Chaos erupted in the Great Hall. Zephyrians huddled together, their bioluminescence dimming in fear. The human delegation rushed to contact their ship, but all communications were jammed. In the midst of the panic, Lyra and Amara exchanged a determined look. This was the ultimate test of their fledgling alliance. "We need to work together," Amara said, her voice steady despite the fear evident in her eyes. Lyra nodded, her mind racing. "The ancient archives," she gasped. "There are legends of a defensive system built by our ancestors. We always thought they were just stories, but now we need them to be real." Amara finished. "Lead the way." As they raced through the crystalline corridors of the city, Lyra couldn't help but think that this was far more than she had wished for. She had wanted to learn from humans, to bring a spark of their adventurous spirit to her people. Instead, she had brought an interstellar war to their doorstep. But as she glanced at Amara, saw the determination in the human's eyes, she felt a glimmer of hope. Together, they might just have a chance against this cosmic threat. The Voidborn ship loomed ever larger in the sky, a dark promise of destruction. But on the planet below, two species that had been strangers mere days ago were about to embark on a desperate mission to save not just Zephyria, but Earth as well. As they reached the sealed doors of the ancient archives, Lyra placed her hand on the shimmering surface. "Whatever happens," she said to Amara, "I'm glad my wish brought you here." Amara nodded, her hand joining Lyra's on the door. "So am I. Now, let's save our worlds." The doors slid open, revealing a chamber filled with forgotten knowledge and untold power. The fate of two worlds now rested in the hands of an alien girl and her human friend, an unlikely duo united by a wish and faced with a challenge that would reshape the galaxy. Quantum entanglement of destinies. The ancient archives pulsed with an otherworldly energy as Lyra and Amara raced through its crystalline corridors. Holographic displays flickered to life around them, revealing secrets long forgotten by the Zephyrians. "There," Lyra exclaimed, her bioluminescent patterns flaring with excitement. The Nexus core. Before them stood a massive, pulsating orb of pure energy, suspended in a field of shimmering particles. It hummed with power, sending ripples through the very fabric of reality. Galactic Renaissance. The newly formed celestial harmony stood at the precipice of a new era. The merging of human and Zephyrian consciousness had birthed a civilization unlike any the universe had ever seen. As the twin suns of Zephyria rose, casting their light on a world transformed, Lyra Amara, the hybrid consciousness born from the fusion of the alien girl and the human captain, gazed upon the crystalline spires of New Harmony, the capital of their reborn world. Initiating Project Stardust, Lyra Amara announced, their voice a melodious blend of human speech and Zephyrian harmonics. The air shimmered around them as holographic displays materialized, showcasing ambitious plans that would reshape not just their planet, but the very fabric of space-time. Elder Zoran, his ancient form now infused with the vitality of human DNA, nodded in approval. Let the galactic renaissance begin. Across the planet, and extending into the space around it, a flurry of activity erupted. The celestial harmony's unique blend of human ingenuity and Zephyrian biotechnology gave birth to wonders beyond imagination. Quantum terraforming. Barren worlds bloomed into lush paradises in a matter of days, as swarms of nanobots infused with Zephyrian biophotonic manipulation reshaped entire ecosystems. Stellar forges. Massive space stations that harnessed the power of stars, creating new elements and materials that defied the known laws of physics. Consciousness upload spires, towering structures that allowed the celestial harmony to preserve their hybrid minds in vast data networks, achieving a form of digital immortality. Wormhole Nexus. A network of stable wormholes connecting distant parts of the galaxy, revolutionizing space travel and communication. Empathic Grid. A galaxy-spanning field that allowed instantaneous emotional and intellectual connection between all members of the celestial harmony, no matter how far apart. As these marvels took shape, word of the celestial harmony spread across the cosmos. Other species, once wary of both humans and Zephyrians, now looked to this new civilization with a mix of awe and trepidation. Lyra Amara stood before the Galactic Council, a gathering of the most advanced species in the known universe. The chamber hummed with nervous energy as representatives from 1,000 worlds watched, their tentacles, appendages, and sensory organs all focused on the hybrid being before them. We come not to conquer, but to elevate, Lyra Amara began, their words echoing in the minds of all present through the empathic grid. The celestial harmony offers a new path forward for all sentient life. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. A Volan elder, its eye stalks quivering, spoke up. And what of those who do not wish to join your harmony? Lyra Amara smiled, a gesture that conveyed warmth across species boundaries. We respect the autonomy of all beings. Our offer is just that, an offer. But we believe that together, we can achieve wonders beyond imagining. As if on cue, a holographic display materialized in the center of the chamber, showcasing the celestial harmony's most ambitious project yet, the universal dreamscape. Behold, Lyra Amara continued, a realm where consciousness transcends physical form, a place where ideas become reality, where the collective creativity of billions can reshape the very nature of existence. The assembled representatives watched in awe as the hologram depicted swirling galaxies of thought, nebulae of emotion, and stars born from pure imagination. But this is not without risk, Lyra Amara cautioned. As we expand our consciousness, we may attract the attention of forces beyond our comprehension. The Voidborn were but a taste of what lurks in the darkness between realities. A hush fell over the chamber. The memory of the Voidborn threat was still fresh in the collective memory of the galaxy. Which is why we need to stand united. Lyra Amara pressed on. The celestial harmony offers not just technological marvels, but a new way of existence. a path to transcend the limitations of our individual species and face the unknown as one. As the Council deliberated, back on Zephyria, the fruits of the galactic renaissance were already taking shape. Children born of a hybrid species displayed abilities that defied explanation, manipulating reality with a thought, communing with the fundamental forces of the universe, even glimpsing possible futures. In orbit around the planet, the first universal dreamscape anchor took form, a massive structure that blurred the lines between technology and living organism. It pulsed with energy, sending ripples through the fabric of space-time. Elder Zoran, overseeing the construction, felt a tremor of both excitement and fear. "Are we ready for this?" he wondered aloud. A young hybrid, her skin shimmering with bioluminescent patterns that mirrored the stars themselves, turned to him. "Ready or not, the universe calls us forward. We must answer." As the anchor neared completion, strange phenomena began to manifest across Zephyria and beyond. Objects phased in and out of reality, temporal anomalies caused past and future to bleed into the present, and whispers of other dimensions echoed in the minds of the celestial harmony. Laura Amara, standing atop the highest spire of New Harmony, gazed at the sky as it rippled like the surface of a pond. They could feel the weight of countless minds connected through the empathic grid, a symphony of thoughts and emotions that spanned the galaxy. "We stand at the threshold of a new age," they'd broadcast to all of celestial harmony. An age where the dreams of a young alien girl and the determination of humanity have given birth to something greater than either could have imagined alone. As the universal dreamscape anchor flared to life, reality itself seemed to hold its breath. The celestial harmony, born from an unlikely wish and forged in the crucible of crisis, was about to take its first steps into a realm beyond the physical, a realm of infinite possibility and untold danger. The galactic renaissance had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the story of consciousness itself. As the boundaries between thought and reality blurred, one question echoed across the cosmos. What dreams may come when an entire civilization dares to imagine together cosmic singularity? The universal dreamscape pulsed with infinite possibility, a realm where thought and reality intertwined in a dance of creation. Lara Amara, their consciousness expanded beyond mortal comprehension, navigated the swerving vortexes of pure imagination. Here, in this nexus of all potential, the true power of the celestial harmony would be put to the test. Initiating Nexus Protocol Alpha, Lara Amara's voice resonated across dimensions, each word a symphony of creation. Prepare for cosmic singularity. Across the galaxy, billions of minds, linked through the empathic grid, focused their collective will. The universal dreamscape anchor, a structure that defied conventional physics, began to hum with otherworldly energy. In the physical realm, Elder Zoran stood before a gathering of the celestial harmony's brightest minds. His form shimmered, partly physical, partly ethereal, a bridge between worlds. "We stand at the precipice of transcendence," Zoran intoned, his voice carrying the weight of two species' histories. "But beware, for in reaching for godhood, we may awaken forces beyond our comprehension." As if in answer to his warning, the fabric of reality shuddered. Cracks appeared in the sky, revealing glimpses of realms beyond imagination. Strange entities, beings of pure thought and abstract concept, began to take notice of the celestial harmony's ascension. In the heart of New Harmony, a young hybrid named Zara Elias felt the first tremors of change. Her body, a perfect fusion of human and Zephyrian DNA, began to glow with an inner light. Around her, objects flickered in and out of existence, responding to her unconscious desires. "It's happening," she whispered, her voice echoing with the power of creation itself. "We're becoming more." Across the galaxy, similar transformations took place. The celestial harmony was evolving, transcending the limits of physical form, but with this evolution came unforeseen consequences. On a distant world, a rift tore open in the sky. From it emerged the conceptuals, beings that existed as living ideas, abstract notions given form and purpose. They regarded the ascending celestial harmony with a mixture of curiosity and concern. You tread in realms not meant for mortal minds, the conceptual of wisdom spoke, its voice a cascading fractal of knowledge. The balance of creation hangs in the balance. Lyra Amara, manifesting as a swirling galaxy of consciousness, faced the conceptuals. We seek not to disrupt, but to understand, to grow, to become more than we were. The conceptual of change stepped forward, its form constantly shifting. Growth requires sacrifice. Are you prepared for the cost of your ascension? Before Lyra Amara could respond, a dark tide swept across the universal dreamscape. The Voidborn, once thought defeated, had evolved as well. They surged forward, a nightmarish amalgamation of forgotten fears and suppressed thoughts. You opened the door, the Voidborn hissed, their voice a cacophony of terror. Now all of creation will be unmade and remade in our image. The battle that ensued defied description. Entire galaxies were born and died in instants. Concepts clashed with elemental forces. The very laws of physics were rewritten and unwritten in the span of heartbeats. In the physical realm, the effects of this cosmic war rippled across reality. Time flowed backwards in some sectors of space, while in others, cause and effect became untethered. Planets phase-shifted, existing in multiple states simultaneously. Zara Elias, her power growing exponentially, realized the true nature of the conflict. It's not about defeating the Voidborn, she broadcast across the empathic grid. It's about integration, acceptance. We must embrace even the darkness within ourselves. Understanding dawned across the collective consciousness of the celestial harmony. They had sought to transcend their physical forms, but in doing so, they had rejected a fundamental part of themselves. Lyra Amara, drawing upon the combined wisdom of humanity and Zephyria, made a decisive choice. Instead of fighting the Voidborn, they opened themselves to the darkness, allowing it to flow through them. We are all, Lyra Amara proclaimed, their voice echoing across dimensions. Light and dark, creation and destruction. To be truly cosmic, we must embrace the totality of existence. As the celestial harmony accepted this truth, a transformation swept across the universal dreamscape. The Voidborn, no longer an external threat, became an integral part of the cosmic tapestry. The conceptuals, seeing this act of ultimate balance, nodded in approval. Reality reshaped itself around this new paradigm. The celestial harmony emerged not as conquerors of the cosmos, but as its caretakers, guardians of the delicate balance between all aspects of existence. Zara Elias, now a being of pure cosmic awareness, smiled as she felt the harmony of creation flowing through her. "We've done it," she whispered to the universe. "We've become the dream and the dreamer." As the dust of cosmic creation settled, the celestial harmony found themselves forever changed. They were no longer merely a fusion of two species, but a new form of existence altogether, living embodiments of the universe's potential. Elder Zoran, his form now a swirling nebula of wisdom, addressed the transformed civilization. Our journey began with a simple wish, a desire for understanding between two different peoples. Now, we stand as the bridge between all realities, all possibilities. The universal dreamscape anchor, once a construct of technology and biology, had become a living portal, a cosmic tree with roots in every dimension and branches reaching into realms yet unimagined. As the celestial harmony embraced their new role as cosmic custodians, they knew that this was not an end, but a beginning. The universe, infinite in its complexity, would always have new wonders to explore, new challenges to face. And somewhere, in a quiet corner of the cosmos, the echoes of a young alien girl's birthday wish still resonated, a reminder that even the grandest cosmic designs can spring from the simplest desires for connection and understanding. The cosmic singularity had been achieved, not through domination, but through harmony. And as the newly ascended celestial harmony looked out upon the infinite expanse of creation, they knew that their greatest adventures were still to come. For in a universe of endless possibility, every moment holds the potential for a new wish, a new dream, and a new destiny.